Welcome to practice. We're going to begin in Tadasana with the feet under the hips so that the feet are parallel and the legs are parallel. And close your eyes and let yourself sway around center a little in every direction you can so that you can feel the weight transfer across the soles of your feet. Becoming aware of your feet and your connection to the floor. And even through the soles of your feet, reading the floor's connection to the foundation, the earth. And this swaying around center, finding center. It's like a small dance. Find center as close as you can so that the movement, the wavering movements are the smallest that you can be aware of. Then open your eyes and reach your arms up by your ears. We're going to look up Urdhva Hastasana. Really reaching the fingertips skyward, the little fingers up, the thumbs back, and really lengthening the body. Beautiful. Let's roll forward. So bend the knees. Just let your body hang forward. Even if the skin of the back stretches a little bit, if you need to support your back so that the back is more relaxed, then put your hands on your legs. Otherwise, just dangling forward. You might feel there's still some movement of your center of gravity around the feet. Maybe the pelvis swinging a little bit side to side or forward to back. Just noticing if the back torso is tense. Then we're going to roll up. Good, and take the arms up again. Beautiful, really reaching up. And then rolling forward. And again, taking a moment to hang there. Breathing. I'm just going to step off screen for a second. Stay there, breathing, feeling the weight waver. And then rolling up. And reaching up. Good. And then release your arms. And back into Tadasana. We're going to lift up onto the ball of the right foot and make some nice big circles with your knee. And what you're trying to do is feel all the joints in your foot, or many of the joints, and your ankle benefiting from this movement. And at the same time, let your upper body be a counterbalance. Feeling that lovely sense of moving around center. Good, and then the other direction with your foot. I'm hoping that you can really feel some movement or resistance in your ankle, in the joints of your foot. Good. And then release that side. Up onto the ball of the left foot, and knee draws a big circle around the foot. So we're trying to feel that movement between the bones. And then let your upper body become a counterweight. As though the foot were earthed, but also trying to move in the other direction. Really lending some mobility to those little joints of the foot, the ankle, the knee. Good. And then back to center. And then if we try on both feet, lifting the heels, bending the knee, and trying to draw a circle with the knee. Whoa. Okay, we're going to let the upper body be the counterweight to that movement. Ah. Mm. Other direction. I really like how difficult this is. Beautiful. And then releasing. And back into your Tadasana. Feel a lift in the front of the body. Beautiful. Arms up. And as you exhale, find your Uttanasana and see if you can keep your back really relaxed here. So the skin of the back not overstretching, but really stretch your legs. So weight is leaning forward a little bit over the front of the feet. Even look up and with the breastbone. Good. And then bend the knees and coming. Tadasana. Great. And we're going to come to the front of the mat and we'll be walking back and forward on the mat. So if you know that hands on the floor is going to be hard work, put your hands on the seat of the chair. Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. Upward facing hands. Uttanasana. Standing forward bend. Put your hands down flat and start to make little steps with your feet. Good, until your feet are back in a downward facing dog pose. And we're going to lift the heels high. Stretch your fingers wide, press your fingerprints. Good. And bring your shoulders forward and back. So sort of a bent plank pose. And then a downward facing dog pose with the heels. Good. Nice wide, even spaces between your fingers. Keep the pressure in the base of the index fingers. Exploring that movement, looking also for release for the neck. Keeping the neck nice and relaxed. Letting the armpits open, the chest lengthen. Start to press the heels back at the same time you take the hips back now. And then when you come forward, start to drop the hips a little lower into a plank pose. See if you can follow the rhythm of your breath with the movement. Feeling the natural inclination as the front of the body closes a little in the downward facing dog pose to exhale. As you come into the plank pose, feeling the chest broad and long, inhale. Good, and then we're going to take little steps forward and come back to the front of the mat. Try to press the heels down so you start to benefit from that hamstring stretch, but paying attention to how your back. And we'll roll up and arms up and look up. Good. And then Tadasana at the front of the mat. Inhale, arms up. And as you exhale, Uttanasana. Put your hands down flat. Little steps, or maybe you do little jumps, whatever feels all right. Try to press the heels down, downward facing dog pose. Bring the knees to the floor, elbows to the floor. Good. And then stretch the chest towards the front of the leg. So it's a bigger movement for the shoulders if you take your knees back further. So if you like that feeling, take the knees back further. Try to have the elbows about shoulder width. Notice where this might feel awkward in your upper back or your shoulders. Find your focus on the breath. Nice work. Lift the shoulders up and forward so they're over your elbows. Tuck your toes under and lift your knees just off the floor. And we're going to look forward, feeling the work of the core body here. Strong between the shoulder blades. Nice work. Lift back up into downward facing dog pose. And straighten one leg, bend the other. So trying to influence that stretch in the back of the legs, but with your head relaxed. Finding the flow of your breath. Good. Pick up the left knee and reach it forward as though you could touch your left wrist and look up. Good. And then take that leg back, downward facing dog pose. Pick up the right foot, reach the knee forward, the right knee forward as though you could touch your right wrist. Good. And then take it back. We're going to do 2 more on each side. Find the flow of your breath. The calm strength of the core body. Middle side. And little steps to help you get forward to the front of the mat. Maybe you do little jumps, but try to get the stretch feeling in the back of your leg, but without straining the spine. Good, and then arms up, looking up. And Tadasana at the front of the mat. I'm going to bring the hands onto the belly. Finding the breath. Bring your right leg in behind. Sorry, so reach it out behind you. So you're leaning forward a little bit with the torso. And feel the core of the body lift and support the spine. We're going to keep the hips level to the floor and lift the back leg off the floor. And with the breath, we're going to bring the torso a little closer to the floor, keeping the hips level, and then lifting up. So we're going to be lifting up and reaching forward. Ooh. And one more. Nice work. Release that side. Hands at the belly, standing in Tadasana. Feeling the flow. And awareness in the core of the body. Good. Reach your left leg behind you. We keep the hips level to the floor. And as you exhale, torso forward. Inhale and lift back up. Your toes touch the floor. Good. And one more. Nice work. Tadasana. Let's take the arms behind now. And we're going to interlock the hands to the elbows or hold the forearms, wherever you can reach to. Make a little bit. Enjoying the flow of breath. Uttanasana. So the arms help us to keep our back bend shape, but let your body weight be forward a little in the feet. So you feel more of a stretch in the leg. Let the neck release long. Let the legs straighten. Good. And then bend your knees and come up and release your arms. Take them up by your ears, Urdhva Hastasana. And then take them behind you again and see if you can put the other forearm on top. Do the one that feels a bit unnatural. Good. Feeling that lovely back bend shape. Stretch for the shoulders and the chest. And Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Letting the neck lengthen. Try to make the back bend the main attraction of the pose here. And letting the neck, finding the flow of breath. Good. And then bend your knees and come up and release your arms and arms up. We're going to come into Uttanasana again and sweep the arms beside you. And the palms are going to go up with the belly. Good. So really reach back with the fingertips and lift the palms. And let your head just hang down. So the more you can take your shoulders away from your ears, the longer the neck gets to be. Straighten your leg. Feel the flow of breath. Good. And then lifting up and arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Looking up. Good. And then one more of those. Uttanasana. Sweep the arms up beside, behind, so the palms are facing up to the ceiling. And really try with the arms here to make the neck longer. We want to reach the shoulders back, the palms up, and let the head just be hanging down. Nice work. Good. And then bend the knees and inhale. And arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. And looking up. Good. Face the palms forward and see how that makes the armpits wider. Enjoying the breath there in the upper chest. Good. And then releasing arms by your side. Okay. Urdhva Hastasana, arms up, looking up. Uttanasana. Big step back with the left foot for a lunge position. Straight in your back leg, bent in your front leg. Good. Sweep the arms up beside you and look forward. The palms are facing up. And again, really reach back with the fingertips and lift the breastline. We'll drop the hips forward as far as we can. Lifting the palms. Nicely done. Now we're going to step forward, bring the arms forward and balance on the right leg. Bring the left leg in front. Take your balance, hold. Whatever you're working on, we're going to find the center. Those little counterweight movements. Good, and then releasing that side. Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Big step back with the right foot. So you're in a long lunge and the back leg is bent. Sorry, the back leg is straight and the front leg is bent. And we're going to sweep the arms up the side. Palms up, fingertips back, lift the breastbone. Moving forward. Drop the hips forward a little more. Good, we're going to step forward, lift up, balance on the left leg. Take your balance hold. And however you're working on your balance, find those little movements of counterbalance. Slow breath. Good, and releasing that side. Tadasana. Do a trikonasana. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Left foot back for trikonasana. So lining up your right heel and left center of the inner arch. We're going to get the legs straight and we're going to lift the torso, even if you have to lift all the way up, until you feel like you get your left hip into the plane of the feet and the right leg. And so from where that happens, lengthen both sides of the waist, lengthening your right hip. Trikonasana. Follow the flow of breath in your body. Through the length of your legs, your strong core, ability to lengthen the sides of the waist, to open the heart. Oh. Good. And then we're going to step forward, release your arms, step forward, balance on your right leg, swing the left leg forward. Find your balance. Talent. You're holding your knee or your foot or your tiptoes might be on the floor. Whatever the balance. Feeling that little dance, a little movement or movements that keep you upright. Beautiful. And release that side. Hadasana, mountain pose. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Right foot back for Trikonasana. So the center of the right foot, inner arch, lines up with the left heel. And notice here the lifting of the torso. And as you lift, we're trying to get the right hip to reach back so that it becomes part of the plane of the feet and the left leg. So lift up as far as you need to, even if you're all the way back up, upright. Good, and then start exploring your reach into Trikonasana. Feel the flow of breath in your strong leg, active core, lengthening spine, lengthening sides of the waist, reaching the heart up towards the ceiling. Bring your arms back to the front of the mat. Step forward, lift up, balance on your left leg. Whoa. Take your balance, talent. Good, and then releasing. Nice work. Let's try our kneeling to standing. Now, if you're having trouble with that movement because you can't put your knees on the floor or squatting is difficult for your knees, you're going to just practice your mini squat and coming back up to standing. And then mini squat. Good, using the core, keeping the legs parallel. Otherwise, let's try kneeling. And if you have to lean forward to put your hands on the floor, that's fine. But try to get your body weight back over your heels before you start to stand up. Do a couple of those. Try to move the legs so that they're moving evenly together. So if you have to lean forward, put your hands on the floor. Try lean back over the heels. Press the heels down as you lift up. One more. Good work. And we're going to sit down. So taking a seat. Let's take soles of the feet together and put the feet out in front of it. Good. Hands behind the hip will give you the most help with your arm to lengthen your spine. And check it out, see how your back feels. If you express your forward movement and your torso comes forward of your hip, then that's what you're going to do. But if you express your forward movement and you feel a little bit stuck and your torso is just a bit behind your hips or above, you're going to make circles. And you're going to make circles with the whole torso as though you had a pencil in the top of your head and you're drawing a halo for yourself. Good. Now, if you're leaning forward, bring your hands in front where it makes sense, holding your leg. And with each breath, lengthen the front of your torso, belly and chest, looking forward. And as you exhale, reaching the bones of the spine, into the front of the torso. And forward reaching people, you can make that same little movement, doesn't have to be of the whole torso drawing a circle. So if pencil was in the top of the head, you're drawing your halo down. And the other direction for everybody. Good. Coming back to center and releasing. Good. All right, lying down. With the legs bent and the feet hip width and parallel. Feeling practice so far in your body. Maybe there's some tension, maybe some zing. Good. We're going to bring the left heel to the right hip, and we want to bring the legs in as close as we can to the chest. And the subtle movement here is bringing the left foot closer to the left shoulder, but the right knee away from the right shoulder. Notice when you imagine that movement, there's a little bit more feeling of ease in the front of the left, a little bit more space. Good. Now, if you have extra movement here with this left foot, instead of it being in front of your knee, put it in front of your hip, like a half lotus position, an Adha Baddha Padma position. All right, so we'll bring the hand, hold the front of the right knee. Relax your shoulders. Feeling the flow of breath. If you were seated doing this posture, would be working on trying to bring the bones of the spine forward. So try to do that. You'll lift your lower back off the floor a little and bring the spine further forward into the front of the torso. Just stronger feeling in the hips. And breathing. Good. And the last part is to straighten the right leg. So if that feels okay, strengthening. Shoulders relax, neck relax. Good. And then releasing that side. Relax your arms for a moment, taking in the sensation. Good. And then we'll do the right heel onto the left knee and bring the legs in as close to your chest as they go. And we're trying to head the right foot here towards the left shoulder, but the right knee away from the right shoulder, making a little more space in the front of the right hip. So the hips feel very level to the floor. Good. Now, if you have more movement and it works okay for your knee, bring your right foot in front of your left hip instead of in front of the knee. How that goes. Good. So find that feeling in the hips, the pelvis of the right knee moving away from the right shoulder. And lift the bones of your spine away from the floor. So keep your shoulder blades relaxed on the floor, shoulders, and your head. Just imagine the bone, the spine lifting closer to the front of the torso. Find the spaciousness of the breath in every tight, resistant part of your body. Sometimes resistant to protecting us from injury, so appreciating that. If you're going for the left straight leg as well, do that. But see if you can keep lifting the bones of your spine away from the floor, but relax your shoulders onto the floor. Good. And then releasing both legs. The arms out from your shoulders. We're going to cross the left thigh over the right thigh. Lift your hips and swing them to the left, and the legs are going to go right. With the thighs crossed, you get a certain kind of a twist to your lower back. So just checking in that that feels okay. You can always change the kind of twist. And we'll turn the head to look over the left. Notice with the breath if there are places in the body where there is unnecessary. Letting that go. Good. And then coming back up to center. Uncrossing and right thigh over the left thigh. Lift the hips, swing them right and knee to the left. Turn to look over your right shoulder this and searching for ease. Good. And then bringing your legs back up to center. Nice. Put your feet down. Let's give the upper body a little bit of a stretch. So take the arms overhead. Just interlock your fingers. Press the palms away from you. And really stretch armpit. Upper arm. Lift your hips and lengthen your tailbone away from the shoulders. So the lower back is long. Stretch the legs out to straight, giving your whole self a big stretch. You can point your toes. Good. And then releasing. Bring arms and legs in. If you'd like to stay in your own Shavasana, namaste. If like me, you need to finish your practice and rolling over to your right side. Taking it deep. And even seated, we can feel the floor underneath the body. Very tiny movements that we make, finding space. Bring your hands in front of your heart. And take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.